What's up, y'all? It is your girl, Tiffany, Deni. It is the Tiffany, Deni Show. We are here. It is Wednesday. As always, a pleasure to be here. We have a lot to talk about today because a lot has been happening and is going to happen. So how are y'all doing today? It is good to be back. First things first is let's talk about what we got going on here at the station. Family Flavors to Slide. We have a lot of things happening actually, so we're going to start with the fact that we do have our backpack giveaway going on now. You can definitely hit me up or call the station 719-300-7936 if you want to know any information about that. We got that going through the end of the month, so make sure you hit me up, Deni the Godmother, on social media, or just look out for the Slide WBN to make sure that we go ahead and get you some information on that backpack giveaway, especially with school starting. So we want to make sure that we got your kids squared away out here because it takes a village, y'all. Also, so speaking of school starting, I don't know if y'all heard, but in the county right now, like, they are short, and I do mean short, on bus drivers. And I get it, because I'm not a kid person. It took me 10 years with kids to realize I don't like them. So I get it. I understand. But if you do have a tolerance for children, which God bless you if you do, because I respect anybody who could do something that I can't do, and that is deal with kids full time. We do have a shortage going on in our county right now of bus drivers, and I mean a real shortage. We got a couple counties out here offering incentives just to get put on. So we have District 20, District 11, and District 49 are all offering incentives if you decide to become a bus driver with them and you qualify to be a bus driver with them. District 20 is offering $2,000 or up to $2,000 just to sign on as a bus driver. They have a fair going on at the end of the month. District 11 is offering up to $2,500, and District 49 is offering up to $1,000. So if you can drive, that's another reason why I can't do it, because I'm not a good driver. But if you can drive, then you definitely want to go ahead and see if you can look into this if you're looking right now for work. And also, if you can't drive, remember that we do have free public transportation in the city right now. So all the buses for the month of August, they are running free. If you need any rides, anything like that, if you need to get a ride to your job interview for the bus line, then go ahead and remember that they do have free transportation at throughout the city, just as an initiative to get more people to go into public transportation. What else do we have going on? We have the town hall meeting. It is the second one. This is exciting. Y'all know I'm excited about this town hall meeting. I am like super excited about this town hall meeting because I am super excited to talk to the people out here in this community who have a huge say in this community. And we all can use our say if you do go out in November or vote in November for that general election. And we do have some candidates who will be on the ballot at that town hall meeting. It is September 18th. You want to make sure you check it out because we will be talking to people who are of influence and stature in this community and who also are out here trying to get their vote or trying to get the vote for the general election. It's going to be really exciting and it's going to be really fun. And it's really important that you know people's positions on things, people's where they stand and where they are when they're going to try to speak for you, which is what all of the candidates are doing when they get elected. They are speaking for people of the community, so you want to make sure that you have people of the community who can speak for you. And we're going to be talking about a lot over here. We're going to be talking about homelessness and the housing crisis, which is one of the issues that I am very passionate about. We're also going to be talking about the economy. We're going to be talking about infrastructure. And another big issue that I'm extremely passionate about is education. And you can believe that we will be asking some questions about that. That is a Family Flavors project we have going on. It will be hosted by yours truly, Tiffany, Deni. You know I'm going to ask the questions that needs to be asked to the people it needs to be asked to. So I am more excited. And then on top of that, we will be taking you guys' questions as well. So you want to make sure that you contact me or you contact Family Flavors The Slide. You can do that through social media or through the phone, 719-300-7936. And like I said, we're going to be talking about education. We're going to be talking about infrastructure. We're going to be talking about the housing crisis. We're going to be talking about the homeless epidemic. So these are things that you want to make sure you tune in for so that we can get the responses that you need. And please submit your questions so that I can make sure to ask what you feel like needs to be asked to the people who represent you in this community. And speaking of homelessness, we have Homeless Not Hopeless coming up. That's going to be happening here on October 23rd. It is volume 8, so shout outs to that. Family Flavors, we got volume 8 of Homeless Not Hopeless. I do this every week, but Homeless Not Hopeless. There we go. I just got to slow it down, y'all. Y'all know I just got to slow it down. We are taking donations for that, so you definitely want to make sure that if you have any extra, like toiletries, hygiene products, food products, coats, clothing, anything that we really can get out here to our people who are without shelter, then that would be amazing. And a lot of us have this stuff flying around, y'all. You know, even in my pantry, you know, I attempted to go through it today. Attempted being the key word there, because I got frustrated. So shout out to the fact that I'm that blessed that I started to go through my pantry and I just got frustrated and stopped. But I did realize before I did that I had a lot of camp products that I am not going to use. So they will be going in here. There is a lot of non-perishable food items that we keep in our house just in case. But remember that there are some people who are actually in those just in case situations. So if you can, make sure that you shout out and give your donations to us at Family Flavors for this volume 8 of Homeless Not Hopeless, because it's going to be a big thing for our community. It is something that we're going to keep pushing and we're going to keep thriving to, because you guys know how dear this is to my heart. We're all just one wrong choice away from homelessness. We're all just one wrong choice away from prison time. So don't ever think that you're not there. You are there. You just not as far or as close as you may think. So if you have those extra things lying around, clothes that aren't fitting anymore, that are still in great condition, non-perishable food items, hygiene products, all that stuff, please make sure you contact me, contact the station, make sure you get in touch with us, and we will get that stuff from you. So that's pretty much what we have going on with Family Flavors and what we have going on in the community. It was a lot, right? We have a lot going on. It is getting to be that time of year. We are getting close. Like, I just realized how close we are to the end of the year. Like, we're in the 8th month. We are very close to Christmas. It's scary, right? It is scary, but it is 4 months away. And we've already gone 8 months into this year. 2022, it was like once we got back, it just went by so fast, because this will be our first whole year that was pretty much COVID-free, pandemic-free, where it wasn't just weird, because, yeah, it was weird for a minute. So it's nice to see us out and about. I'm definitely curious as to how we're going to handle this season right now, this holiday season, this back-to-school season, now that we're out and about and doing everything back to normal, which is really exciting, and it's really good, and it's really comfortable, because unfortunately, I won't say unfortunately, but I am one of those people who just wanted things to go back. Like, I'm a girl who goes to festivals, I'm a girl who goes to concerts, I go to events where there are a lot of people, movie theaters and stuff, and COVID was just ruining my time. It was not making me happy as a human being. It was ruining my whole vibe, y'all. I am trying to tell y'all, I did not enjoy it. So we're finally getting back to normal. And then, did y'all receive y'all check? Because I know if you're in Colorado, we got that $750 incentive check. People acting like they rich, but it's gone for most of us already if you got it, because $750 it's a nice amount, and I'm appreciative, but you already know. So did y'all get y'all checks back at, and what did y'all do with that? Because it went to just what it was meant for, incentive and something else. I don't know. I be trying to listen sometimes when people be talking, but you got a check in front of me and a letter. It's like when you get them cards and people put a check in there or cash and they expect you to read the card. Like, it's a pretend thing. I see money. So, yeah. Either way, we getting ready to go pay these bills. I'm going to come back, talk to y'all about what we got going on in the community, and definitely what we got going on in the culture. And the topic that I will be talking about today is hip-hop and prison. So this is going to be a fun show for us. Now, you make sure you hit me up, Deni the Godmother, or you make sure that you call the station, 719-300-7936. If you want to holler at your girl, we're going to go take care of these bills, take care of these sponsors, and y'all be right back with us. School shootings. There's actually been 27 school shootings in the year of 2022 alone, and this is just that first half. So the second half, I do wonder if, I have some friends and people who are parents, and some people are genuinely concerned, but are we concerned enough? What's the course of action we take on that? Because it doesn't seem like these things are decreasing. We have things going on in Texas. where they're making films to try to do this. They have, passed a bill that actually is allowing teachers, or not teachers, let me not say that, that is allowing schools to have AK-47s on grounds, which I don't know. It feels like fighting fire with fire, fighting crazy with crazy. I understand because people are crazy, but I mean, this is just, it's a deep conversation, and schools are starting. School started for my son last week, and it's starting here in these next few weeks for everybody else throughout the country, all the way up to the first week of Labor Day. So I genuinely do wonder, as parents, what do y'all feel about sending your kids back to school? Is that something that makes y'all a little nervous? Because I can't lie, I do get a little nervous. The thing about that, I think it was Parkland, the one in Udall, excuse me if I didn't get that right, in Texas. The thing that made that one was hurt was that it was elementary school, and it's always hurtful when you have school shootings because these are all babies. But babies is like definitely concerning, and it's a deeper concern as to what we need to do as a community and as a people. And on top of that, it's just concerning as to how it gets this far. How do the kids get these guns? Because I'm in Colorado, and we've had a couple shootings, but the most infamous one is the Columbine shooting. And the Columbine shooting, like, it was, 4 or 5 of them, and they had plans. Like, they orchestrated this, they had all of this stuff. So my question was always, how do we let it get this far unnoticed? How do you not notice somebody getting that level of crazy? And I'm not trying to generalize it as crazy, but crazy is crazy. You gotta call it like you see it. You get what I'm saying? I have one child, and I don't know. I bust in his room at any given time, not because I don't respect his privacy, but because he's not gonna be out here making plans to build a bomb without me knowing. So that's just the black and white, call that old school. But either way, that is one thing that has been my concern as we get back to school, is just that topic. So if you have thoughts on that, definitely hit me up, Deni the Godmother. You can call the station 719-300-7936. Let's talk about some other things that we got going on. So, some positive news, I guess, depending on if you're a fan or not a fan, but I want to give flowers, is that Drake actually has more top 5 100 hits than anybody else in history. He just knocked out the Beatles. And I don't know, I don't want to sound like a hater, but I was never a Beatles girl. Like, I never understood the hype, respectfully. Like, they were cool. I respect John Lennon and Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr and George Harrison. But I never really, got the hype about the Beatles music. I'm not trying to knock them, but, I grew up on Beatles music because I grew up in a city like this one. And if you grew up in a Caucasian city, you're going to know Beatles music as much as you know Elvis music and Fleetwood Mac and Eagles. There's just certain people And I'm not trying to knock the Beatles. I just never saw, the beauty in Hey Jude. So you guys are more than welcome to help me out there. Let me know what is going on in that aspect, because I'm not saying that the Beatles don't deserve to have that spot. I just didn't understand why. So what I am asking for is suggestions on Beatles songs, so that y'all can help me figure out why they are still hyped to this day, because there are people who still stand the Beatles, and I mean stand STAN, the Beatles, to this day. I just don't get it. The Beatles are cool, but I don't know. I guess when it comes to my rock bands, they were just a little bit before my time. But then again, I was also, and I still am, pretty much a huge Rolling Stones fan. And that was the same era. So yeah, somebody tell me what it is about the Beatles that just makes them that infamous. Because at least with Drake, there is a song for every mood I'm in. When I get off this show tonight, I'm probably going to want to be chill and want to be calm. So I'm probably going to listen to my Western Road Flows, because that's the joint for me. But then in the morning, I don't know, I might be a little hyped, or I might be in my bag, or I might be feeling a little way. So that already leaves me with best I ever had. That's going to probably be on the playlist tomorrow. Either way, I get it. And then what's the other one? The one that was huge and it got so big it was annoying. Was it Nice for What? Either way, it was on that same album, the Scorpion album. So shout out to Drake, because you don't gotta like him, but you can't say he didn't deserve it, because boy be working. That's just the black and white on it. he's working. I don't care if you like him, don't like him, respect him, don't respect him as an artist, but you gotta respect him as a businessman, and you gotta respect the boy's work ethic, because Drake's work ethic is ridiculous. Drake and Rihanna definitely have those type of work ethics. They the people who get off stage and go straight to the studio. Like, it's crazy. So, in the words of Will Smith, and as he's proven to us, work will beat talent when talent don't work. And Will Smith has definitely shown us, because now we look at Will Smith as an actor and forget all about the fact that he is a Grammy Award winning rapper. People don't even remember the fact of his Fresh Prince days. They barely remember the Will Smith rapper days outside the Men in Black studio. We don't even say getting jiggy with it anymore. And that was an actual real thing. So he done worked it off. Now Will Smith is one of the best and most acclaimed actors of all time. He in a little dry spell now. We all know why it happens like that. You know, keep it cool. That's all I gotta say. Keep it cool. Which is gonna bring me to my next topic. And that is these rappers out here getting arrested back to back. We got rappers left and right. And the thing is with that topic is that it's just so expansive. It is so expansive. Hip hop and jail and arrests and all this, it's exhausting. And it's getting to be redundant. It's about as redundant as hearing about hip hop artists who were in financial straits because they didn't read their contracts. Some issues are just too old for us to still be dealing with. So I think that is especially why that's going to be the topic today, because it is too old to be dealing with this. Like, how is, number one, how is hip-hop even representing the culture and the community as a whole? I don't even feel like it feels the same. And this is something that had came to me this week, because it's just like, when you look back on, 80s hip-hop, 90s hip-hop, it was a fair representation because you had a little bit of everybody, a little bit of all types of energy. We had A Tribe Called Quest, but we also had Wu-Tang. We had Lil' Kim, but we also had Missy and MC Lyte. So it was just very much a balance in the 90s. And in the 80s, we were still a little bit, for lack of better phrasing, we were a little bit primitive. It was still new, it was still fresh. And then on top of that, the 80s was the purest in hip-hop culture, in the sense of not only did we just have rapping, but it was also very much where there was the art of a DJ, you had the dancers, the b-boys, all that good stuff. So I feel like now is the only time where I'm not in approval with how hip-hop even represents my people, to say the least, because a lot of mainstream hip-hop just isn't something that is to be bragged about, which brings me to my next point, and that is, do we want the music to represent us for real or for fake? And I say that because now with the whole Rico case, with, Gucci, or not Gucci, wrong person, Thug and Gunner and all of them, they're asking that their lyrics don't even be put in court. But this is my thing, is why make music if you're not proud of it? Why make music that you don't stand by? Why make art that you don't stand by? That's what's really annoying. So we have people who actually go to court and then don't want their music played. So you want your music played any other time, but you don't want to play it in front of a judge because it then doesn't represent who you are. But you're trying to sell to your people that you are something that you're not. So it's a complex conversation in itself. I feel both ways. I understand both ways. If you want your music played in court, or if you think music should be played in court, I get it. Because it's like, you wrote it. If you're a songwriter, that was your thing, and you decided that that's what you wanted to put out there to the masses. So you can't get mad on how you're represented when you choose what your whole image is to begin with. And if you chose that image for the check and for the clout and for everything else, then that's cool. But understand that it's going to come with what it comes with. And that's what it comes with. You want to have gang life on your records, then don't be mad when you have to deal with gang life stuff in real life. That's just how that goes. So I understand the side of the law that says that it should be fair to have people have their music played in court. This is something that we've been, and then on top of that, hip-hop music and courts go all the way back. So that's not even something new. We can thank Uncle Luke for parental advisories, or the label on the records. This is not something new. Gangster rap has been in court. So I guess it's just getting redundant. But my issue is that don't make music and don't make an art that you don't want to represent you. But I also understand the other side of that says that hip-hop is entertainment. and music can be used as entertainment. And not, but then it's like either it's entertainment or it's art. And if you want to be taken seriously, then you need to pick which one you want to do. Like, you can't be a thug in the studio and then not be a thug in real life. Like, pick which route you want to take. That's really where the concern is. Because you need to understand that you're going to lose all your credibility if you want to then tell a judge and tell people that your music is just entertainment and not real life. So then why are you being fake? And if you're being fake, then why does all your music say you're being real, which is 90% of what hip-hop lyrics consist of, is rappers trying to prove their realness to the community. So I have a lot more to say on this, a whole lot more to say on this. We're going to get a little bit deeper into the prison system and all that stuff when it comes to this aspect of the culture that we call hip-hop and the way that it represents our culture and our people. You know, if you have anything to say, you can hit me up, 719-300-7936. You can hit up the slide on social media, and you can hit me up, Deni the Godmother. We're going to go take care of these bills, y'all, play a couple songs, and if you notice, the playlist is full of people who are familiar with the law. So that was my thought process on that if you're listening live. It's your girl, Deni the Godmother, and I will be right back. Hey, y'all. It is your girl, Tiffany Deni. We are back with the Tiffany Deni Show. You know you can reach me at 719-300-7936. We are talking today about hip-hop and its general relationship with law enforcement. I think that's the cleanest way to put it. We were just listening to Gucci and Migos, who we both know have had some fun with law enforcement themselves. Gucci probably being the biggest come up, so much of a come up that everybody thinks he's a clone now. So I don't know, maybe old Gucci is back in that cell and that's not gonna run. It could be, but either way, new Gucci is on. That should be goals for life right there, because he went from nothing to something for real, for real. He done went ahead and was in prison, and when I got introduced to Gucci, homeboy was looking like, I don't know, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but like a bloated chocolate donut. He definitely had this whole, like, it was a lot happening. Now Gucci look clean, he look happy, he done got a new baby, got his queen, who done flipped his money while he was in jail. So we already know you can't let those things dictate who you are. We also had Migos on there, and when Migos first blew up, we had Offset having his issues, and that's another person who, you know, you have to just give respect to, because he's another one who cleaned it up and got his queen, has his family, and made his money, and he's doing what he's doing. So, and then on top of that, before we have Boosie, and Boosie was the person I got introduced to in jail. So another person who cleaned it up and got it together. So shout out and respect to all three of those men, because, you know, those things don't dictate the rest of your life and the rest of your future. So we're going to keep it moving, and then we have to talk about the fact that we have a lot happening right now to this day with rappers and incarceration. So right now we have Thug in jail. We have Gunna in jail. We have Casanova in jail. We have YF and Lucci in jail. We have all these rappers in jail. And then we still have the old school rappers in jail. We got C Murder. We got BG. We got G Dep. It's crazy to me. Like, if somebody knows a genre with this level of law enforcement to music rape, please let me know. You know you can hit me up, 719-300-7936, because I need to know. And it's crazy just because it's not new. And as I said previously, it's redundant. And that's the part that gets annoying. This isn't new. And it almost feels like we set ourselves up for this. It's like rappers, if they're going to jail, it's either for something stupid that was still hood related or taxes. We're not getting it together. We're not learning, and it's frustrating. And then on top of that, in the last week alone, they added 5 more charges to Thug's, 5 more felony charges to Thug's RICO case. And this RICO case is basically just all gang life stuff, racketeering, substances, owning firearms, being, conspiracy, all those things that just come with that gang life. And it's been watched for almost 3 years. So it's But I'm sorry if y'all like Thug or Gunna, because they are going to jail to jail. They are going to jail. They have been watched for 3 years by the feds. They are going to jail. So it's annoying. And then on top of that, his whole case stems from Atlanta, his city. It'd be your own people. So stay out the streets if you can, because it'll help. It'll help a whole lot. And on top of that, what we don't realize is a lot of rappers go broke because of these things called legal fees. Legal fees ain't a joke, y'all. They're not a joke, y'all. So when you see rappers who get these huge advancements, or they have these moments where they made, $2-3 million and they go broke, calculate the legal fees. Because with that being said, you have the legal fees just for the safe side of things. You need an entertainment lawyer just to keep your contract stuff safe. But if you have the nerve to catch a case, that's not cheap. It's not cheap to beat. Young Thug is already getting the lawsuits for missing his shows because he's incarcerated, and club promoters and everybody else will sue you for that. That's another thing that happened in Atlanta. His own people understand that. It's just lawyers ain't cheap. They not cheap. And then there used to be a conspiracy back in the day, and I always wonder its relevance, if it was conspiracy or if it was true, to private prisons in hip hop. And that's that. There's only 3 really big major labels that control about 80% of hip hop. So let's just put that out there. And out of those, all 3 of them have certain linkages to the private prisons. So this is my thing. As I said in the previous segment, why make songs that aren't true to your life? In that case, you're just being a fake puppet. And we need to acknowledge that there are a lot of those in this industry, a lot of fake puppets. And then if it is true to your life, then we need to understand that illegal is still illegal, is still illegal, is still illegal. Like, not new laws. It's not new laws, y'all. So as much as we don't like certain laws, don't understand certain laws, hate certain laws, and we have to understand that they are not new laws, and they were not laws made by people who are typical listeners of the hip-hop genre. And so with hip-hop and private prisons, I'm not going to say they're linked together. I'm not going to say they're not linked together. But I will say it would make sense if they were. Because it feels like we don't promote anything positive. We don't promote anything that promotes not destroying our community and our culture in particular. There are a lot of genres out here in music. There's rock, there's country, you have pop, you have jazz, you have blues. Hip-hop is the genre that tends to reach out. It's becoming the biggest genre in the world. Hip-hop and country have always been neck and neck. I know. It sounds crazy, but country's one of them genres that people know nobody pays attention to but country heads, and they have a more loyal following than the Dallas Cowboy fans. So country, they will sneak in and get a couple number ones under you, and you wouldn't even notice just because you're not a country head. But there's more country stations in this country than there are hip-hop stations, even though hip-hop is surpassing as the genre. But hip-hop's audience and main audience is us, people who look like me. So it would make sense that there is a genre that came in to try to explain our experiences and help people understand what we were going through. Is now flipped into something that is business and monetary, and there's a lot of money in these private prisons. There's a lot of money in telling your brothers and sisters to not be productive members of society, and it seems like we're the only genre that seems to push and promote non-productivity and our own people as much as we do, and that's going to always be concerning. It's going to always concern me. And they say that hip-hop can be linked to private prisons, and the reason that I do believe that there can be truth to that is because a lot of hip-hop involves crimes. It involves drugs. It involves illegal gun usage. It involves certain disrespects to women that can be illegal in certain places. So it would make sense to me that hip-hop would be in bed with that, because that's really what we're pushing out here, and we have the avenue to push something else. And I'm a product of, I'm a 90s baby, so even in my era where we had the Jay-Z's and the Wu-Tangs and all that stuff, it seemed like we were more promoting trying to get out of everything. Jay-Z, Nas, all of them, it seemed like they were really just pushing their story and how their story didn't have to be your story. And even Hov said that, Hov told you that, so you didn't have to go through that. So why are we still going through it? That's going to be my question. Why is it still a thing? Why do we have so many rappers that are still in jail today? Like, why are we not learning? And on top of that, everybody says they want more music that's real. Everybody says they want more positive music. Everybody says they want more music that is a better representation of the people that listen to it. But we don't buy it and we don't request it if we know it's there. So we have to support things other than the mediocrity if we want to see that change within ourselves. That's how we can help things. But it definitely is something that I just, why does it keep happening? That's my question. Y'all know y'all can hit me up 719-300-7936. I just want to know why it keeps happening. And if it's not true to what these rappers are saying, then why do they keep pushing it in their music? And if y'all don't know or don't think that is true and y'all are on the side of people not being able to use the lyrics in court, then why are you supporting people who are just saying things to entertain you that is just goofiness and it's going to your kids? You have to realize all these rappers and stuff are products. They are sons of somebody. All these female rappers, we're looking at the products and the sons of Nicki Minaj when it comes to most of these female rappers that are out now. I grew up in an earlier era, but now is that time Lottos and Megans and all that, they grew up on the Minaj era. So we have to understand that people will see the art that you put out now and you will have sons because of it. And if the music you're putting out now is destructive to your people so that you can put your kids through college, then I respect it, but I don't respect it. And we got to stop it. We got to stop helping the law enforcement agency target our people. It can't keep being that level of representation for us. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up right after we get into this commercial break. We're going to go ahead and take care of these people, take care of our sponsors. Give me a little second to get my water on, and I will be right back. It is your girl, Tiffany Deni. It is the Tiffany Deni Show on Family Flavors The Slide, WBN, and we can be reached at 719-300-7936. I'll be right back, y'all. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Tiffany Deni. It is the Tiffany Deni Show. We are here. It's Family Flavors The Slide. You know, we can be reached at 719-300-7936. Today we are talking about hip-hop and law enforcement, hip-hop and prison, hip-hop and this overall just negative relationship we have with the system. And I mean, this is a 4-part episode. This is probably part 1. We'll get into part 2 sometime next month, next year, whenever I have the patience to really dig deep in this, but this is a good introduction. And as you hear in the background, I got Mystical playing because Baby Boy is, and forever has been, not forever, but gosh, this is my personal biggest disappointment in hip-hop because Mystical, like, I don't like when I'm put in a position as a woman, especially a black woman, to not like people because of their felonious acts towards other black women. Like, that's not fair. I love R. Kelly. I love R. Kelly. Like, that was my dude. And the thing with Kels is that I loved R. Kelly after Aaliyah. I loved R. Kelly after the sex tape, like 20 years ago. But now, like, even, I can't even get through an R. Kelly song now. Like, it's annoying. He deserves every year of that 30 years he got. Because as a community, we let it slide. We stepped in the name of love for a good little minute. So, we really, really, really let that slide. And it's weird to have to deal with artists that you love, but are disrespectful to people who look like you. And R. Kelly is like the king of that list, and Mystical comes in number 2, because I don't know if y'all remember, but Mystical got locked up like for like 6-7 years, and he got a talk down. I believe it was initially like either a rape charge or like a first-degree sexual assault charge that he got talked down. It's like a 3rd degree or something. He did 6 years, and it was cool. We just respected it and said things happen, and then he comes out and he drops that song with Trinidad James and Dickie that's just a little thick. It gets him back a little bit of attention, but then right after that, he gets another sexual assault charge. So it's just like, what are we doing? And then right now, at this moment, Mystical is being investigated, just got arrested on a rape, domestic abuse, and drug charge. Like, Mystical, what are we doing? What are we doing? You know that there were people out here rooting for you? We were rooting for you, sir. Okay, I'm a Mystical fan. Nobody understood what you said, but I've been with you since this song came out, since it wasn't your fault, but apparently it is, and I am disappointed. I am just as disappointed in you as I am in Kels. So, like I said, today we are talking about just this overall hip-hop thing, and how can we just have so much problems in this whole law enforcement thing. And I'm not saying who's right, who's wrong, who did, who didn't, but I'm saying that it is obviously a conflict, a huge conflict. So let's think about it. We have, at this moment, I already said we got Casanova, he's pending with his case. We got YFN Lucci, he's pending with his case. Got a Young Thug, they are pending. But at this moment, and especially if you're my age or around that age, you have genuinely seen people see murder. That's a lifer, G. Depp. I don't think he's a lifer, but I want to say he got like 20, 30 years for a murder back in 93. We also have BG, who's been in jail since 2012. We also have Turk, who was in jail for like 14 years. Like, what about this seems glamorous? That's my question. What about this life seems glamorous? Like, at all. And why? Especially after the success, are we still in the streets? It doesn't seem glamorous to me, y'all. And this is just my inkling, it's my inclination, but I don't understand why people still have the desire to go back into the streets when they don't have to. It's almost like survival mode. I love when you're in survival mode, there are certain things you have to do to survive. And that's maybe act a little bit different from your character, maybe do things outside of what you would normally do or you think is above or below your moral ground. Because when you're in survival mode, you have to do those things. I feel that same way about street mode. When you're in street mode, there are certain ways that you would move, certain actions you would take that you felt like you wouldn't take when you're in actual success mode or when you don't need it no more. But the thing is, it's old habits die hard. And just like people who are in survival mode, sometimes people get out of survival mode and they don't have to do it no more. You see people who are living in the suburbs and still fighting because they don't realize they don't have to fight no more. You see people living in places that don't require thievery, but they still stealing because it's what they know, because they feel like they don't know where their next meal is, even though it could genuinely be in their fridge. Survival mode is almost like kleptomaniac. It's genuinely just somebody having to live sometimes in situations to survive. But the thing about that is you have to know when it's a time to survive and when you're okay. And same thing with the street life. You have to know when you're in street life, but when you're making hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars legally, you can excuse yourself from that street life. It's acceptable. And you got Shine. Shine would be a product of that. Shine did, 8-9 years, and I have my own topics and suspicions and everything else on that topic, but I'm not going to sit here and play no names or nothing. We weren't in that club that night, but either way, Baby Boy did 8 years, and now he's out here actually flipping it into something positive, which is my favorite type of stories, is people who do flip something into positivity. We were just watching at my house this movie called Talk to Me. It stars Don Cheadle, and he plays Petey Green, and Petey Green was somebody who was a recovering addict, who did have all this time in the system and everything else. You do have the option to turn your life around even after these moments. But with my new rappers in particular, my rappers coming up, all I'm asking is that we don't keep repeating the same actions. We don't. And then I haven't even talked about female rappers. Brad had to do time. Eve got arrested. Remy Ma had to do time. Like, Kim had to do time. Like, why is this a hip-hop thing? And with hip-hop being our biggest genre, why is this a continual thing? Like, it's just not new. It is not new. Us and the police and us and taxes is not new. So why is it continual? And what about it seems appealing? What is appealing about 5-year sentences? What is appealing about 10-year sentences? Ain't nothing worth it. Because if you make $300,000 on the outside, and then you got to spend your next 5 years in jail, then that's all your $300,000 in the first 12 to 24 months. It ain't even worth it. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. Let me know how y'all feel about hip hop. Let me know with its conjunction to the prison system. Do you feel like hip hop is trying to set our people up to maybe continue these same trends so that we can continue with this thing? Because realistically, we make more money off of our brothers and sisters in the prison system now than we ever did in slavery. So do you feel like it's an orchestrated thing? Do you feel like it is a conspiracy? Or are we not learning? I really want to know what this disconnect is that we have, where we feel like this route is a lot more of a successful route when it continually keeps proving to not be. So y'all know y'all can call me 719-300-7936. It's your girl. But that is pretty much just my thoughts and opinions with this topic today on hip-hop and law enforcement and all that other stuff, because I want it to stop. I want us to start making sure that there is a balance here. There is a balance of truth to fact to entertainment. It has to make sense. And then another thing that happened today, and my homie was watching MC Hammer, and that's a crazy subject because I feel like Hammer never got his proper flowers or whatever. But even with that being said, Hammer is probably one of the most gangster rappers out of everybody I've named in this show so far. And if you were there in Cali, or if you know anything about Hammer and his brother Lewis, you know they were not to be played with. You know they were out here in these streets. But even Hammer was smart enough to know not to get his hands dirty. Puff is smart enough not to get his hands dirty. That's why never mind. Either way, let's just make sure that we don't repeat the habits of our people that are not beneficial. Because why? You know they want to set us up. You know that this system is not made to protect us. You know that this system is not even made to look out for us. It's actually made to demonize us. So can we please take evaluations, because these sentences are not cute. Us with all this, like, I am genuinely hurt as a person in this community to see Gunna go down the way that he's going down, and see Thug going down the way that they're going down. I'm not even famous, but to see my brothers have to reach this level of success, be in a position to take care of their families and everything else, and then go down the way that they're going down is hurtful. It's harmful, because it's like, it sucks, my brothers. You know, my king shouldn't have to go down like that. But then with that being said, don't then say that everything that you rapped about is not to be used against you because it was entertainment, because that's conflicting. Because either what I respected about you is now unrespectable, or you have to pick. You have to pick. That's the bottom line. If you want to be hood on the camera, be hood off the camera. It's just that black and white. But don't be hood on the camera and then be Fresh Prince off the camera and be mad because people identify you with that hood life. It is what it is. If you're not about it, don't be about it. But if you want to be about it, understand that sometimes that does come with those things. It comes with those prison sentences. It comes with not being able to sleep at night. It comes with always having to watch your back. Hip-hop and law enforcement go hand in hand. They are targeting people who listen to hip-hop primarily. And that is, like I said, why I can understand the conspiracy theories, why I can understand why people feel a way about hip-hop being in bed with private prisons, because they are targeting hip-hop listeners. So understand that you just can't be reckless on this microphone, especially when you have an audience that is to the masses, the huge masses. Because something that is fun for you, entertainment for you, and meant to feed your family can really be out here influencing other people's children. And the people that are in jail right now, the new ones, they were probably listening to the old ones who were going through this. They were probably the flesh and bone listeners. And all these people out here, this isn't new, but it has to stop. It's not new, but it has to stop. There are certain tendencies we can't keep going hip-hop. We just can't. This culture can't keep going that way. And we can't keep locking up our kings and queens. And we can't keep promoting that. It just can't keep happening. When are we going to call a stop to it? When are we going to put a pause to it? What about this is making it look okay? So that is my topic today. My big topic today is definitely talking about just hip-hop, which is it's a culture that I'm proud to be a part of. And just how different it's been. And it wasn't like this in the 80s, and it wasn't like this in the 90s. This whole locking up thing and everything really started becoming in the 2000s, and I'm curious to what the disconnect is. So you guys know y'all can reach me, 719-300-7936. You know you can reach me on social media, Deni the Godmother. You know you can reach us on the slide, WBN, because I'm curious as to what your thoughts are. I'm curious as to what y'all's appeal is. And big, I'm really curious because this is genuinely the first time in history where they are trying to pass a whole bill and a whole act limiting the usage of lyrics in court. So I'm curious as to how y'all feel about that. Do y'all feel like we should be able to limit the lyrics, or do you feel like people just shouldn't talk about it if they don't want it to be used against them? Because I don't know. When I'm in situations and I say things, I usually mean what I say. I just don't always like how it's interpreted. So I get it. I understand. And it's a new bill. It's getting introduced to the U.S. House of Congress, and it's actually called the RAP Act. And I think that's something else that's like, why is it just us? Why is it just this culture? Why is it just this community? But either way, the RAP Act is a new bill that's trying to be introduced to Congress. I'm with it either way. It stands for Restoring Artistic Protection Act, which we already know rap is to be rap. And it is proposed by Congressman Hank Johnson of Georgia's 4th District and by Congressman Jamal Bowen of New York's 16th District, basically saying that there is a line between artistic expression and evidence. And I get it. I understand. We already know that black people are disproportionate in this jail system, in this court system, and on death row, and anything that involves the system, there's a disproportionate amount of black people involved. So I can understand why people want to include this act, and if it passes, I'm actually all here for it if it passes, but if it doesn't pass, I completely understand why. Don't say it if you don't mean it. Don't talk about being about that life if you're not about this life, because this life is not a life that you want to be about if you're not about it. Sounds crazy, but it's crazy. It's real.